Welcome to the Star Citizen Pledge Guide. I'm your host Ben, also known as Ultramyth on the RSI forums. I started this guide because there has been a lot of confusion about Chris Roberts' upcoming space simulator, Star Citizen, and how you can back it, if you're interested. As of the beginning of September 2014, more than 500,000 people have pledged almost $53 million to make this game happen, some of them spending as much as $15,000 on the game. $15,000! That sounds ludicrous! Chalk it up to misinformation, or maybe one particular internet element. Many potential Star Citizen backers may not realize that you can back the game for as little as $30. Yes, there are people who dropped $15,000 on this game, but remember, this is crowdfunding, the point of which is to offer your patronage to help realize a vision, in this case to help get the game made. Star Citizen is a massive, ambitious game with great scope and vision. It has a degree of fidelity unseen as of yet in a game of its caliber, and perhaps even in gaming in general. Consequently, even the pledge system to back the game is complex and confusing, especially to people new to the game. This guide is intended to help new potential backers to sift through the mass of information in order to understand what is available to you in your price range based on the style of play you are interested in playing when the game goes live. All of this information is available at robertsspaceindustries.com, otherwise known as RSI. All I am doing here is presenting the information in a different way so that it is easier to digest for new potential backers like yourselves. In this episode, I'm going to review what Star Citizen is, its developmental progress, how pledging works, and important things to know when pledging. So, what is Star Citizen? Star Citizen is an ambitious space simulator game that comes from the pedigree of the Origin Wing Commander and Privateer game series from the 1990s. Wing Commander was a series where you, the protagonist, played an ace pilot flying for the Terran Confederation against an alien race of feline creatures known as the Kilrathi. Privateer was set in the same universe and let you take on the role of a civilian pilot operating inside Confederation space as a freelancer, mercenary, or even a pirate. These titles were created by Chris Roberts, who was a big name in games in the 90s, but he left the industry to pursue a career in filmmaking. In 2012, he returned with Star Citizen, looking to harness the power of crowdfunding to prove to his investors that there was indeed still a great interest for space sims. The initial round of crowdfunding was so successful that Roberts realized that the old model with the profit-driven investor influencing the project was no longer needed. He declined his investors' money, determined to self-publish without compromise. Today his small team has grown into the hundreds, and they are currently hard at work creating the best damn space sim ever. Set during the decline of the United Earth Empire, a 30th century echo of the Roman Empire, Star Citizen will start you off as a fighter pilot flying for the UEE Navy in Squadron 42, a standalone, single-player or drop-in co-op story-driven game which will include at least 50 missions. At the end of Squadron 42, you will be able to muster out of the UEEN and become a freelancer through joining the Star Citizen Persistent Universe, the multiplayer version of the game, where you will have free license to explore, trade, or dominate as you see fit, living the virtual life of a star trader, space pirate, explorer, or even the commander of a larger vessel. Star Citizen has been likened to EVE Online and Elite Dangerous, but whilst there are similarities between the games, Star Citizen is definitely its own creature. Now, onto the developmental progress. Star Citizen is intended to be a living, breathing universe that should last for at least a decade after its initial release in 2016. This game is still in development, and that's very important to understand. You will have to be patient for the developers to be able to do their job. With that said though, Chris Roberts has decided to release portions of Star Citizen early, called modules. As of September 2014, 2 modules have been made available, the Hangar module and Arena Commander. The Hangar module allows you to load up the game engine and walk around any ships you have pledged for, if they are available. It also has a firing range where you can test fire ship weapons, and is the module which allows access to Arena Commander. Arena Commander is an in-universe space simulator, a game within a game. Previously called the Dogfighting module, it provides alpha access to Star Citizen's space simulator. This allows you to practice flying 4 different ships with Newtonian physics, to go head-to-head against the AI in the Vandal Swarm and Vandal Swarm co-op modes, or up against other players in the Battle Royale free-for-all, a Capture the Flag variant called Capture the Core, squadron battles, working in teams, and New Horizons, which allows you to race against others. Both are still in alpha development, so please be aware that if you pledge to access these elements of the game, they are unpolished, and they are only a representation of what the final game will look, sound, and play like. Still to come in the future is multi-crew play in Arena Commander, where players can man the same ships in pilot and gunner positions, and fight it out against each other. Additional game modes are also expected for Arena Commander, as well as more flyable ships. The Hangar module is set to expand with a customizable room system. There will also be a first-person shooter module, which will demonstrate zero-gravity, boarding action, and ground combat. Following that will be a social module, where players will be able to interact with one another inside the game itself. During 2015, chapters of Squadron 42 will be released in 10 mission runs, until 50 missions are available. Finally, the Persistent Universe is expected to go live in 2016. So, now that you know where things stand, why don't we talk a little bit about how pledging works. As of September 2014, you can still pledge for Star Citizen on the RSI website. There are a variety of pledges available, including module passes, physical merchandise, add-ons, virtual currency, and weapon systems. The list really goes on and on. But the most common pledges come in the form of game packages and standalone ships. Game packages provide the following in-game items, including a ship, hangar, starting money, and insurance. You'll also gain access to the Hangar module, a digital copy of the game manual, and digital downloads of both Squadron 42 and Star Citizen itself. Standalone ships come with just the ship itself, as well as a hangar and in-game insurance, but don't give access to the actual game. These packages are most useful if you already have a game package, so that you can collect additional ships beyond the first, without having to get a game package. During this series, we are going to focus on game packages and standalone ships as they pertain to certain playstyles. So, what happens to the money you pledge towards the game? Well, it all gets funneled into the development of the game, and thereafter the maintenance of the Persistent Universe, as after its initial release and the investment of a game package, it will actually be free to play. The more money pledged, the greater the resources CIG will have to make the game and to continue to produce great content for years to come. Before we wrap up, there are a few things I would like you all to keep in mind when considering pledging for Star Citizen. I can't stress enough that this game is still under development, so don't expect the stars just yet. If you have pledged for Star Citizen with a game package, you will get the game eventually, but you're not guaranteed access to your ship until the actual release of the game. There's a good chance it will come, but there's no guarantees. Once your ship is made available, you will be able to view it in the Hangar module. Arena Commander is available for play now, However, you will likely have to purchase a module pass to be able to access it. These cost $5 and are available on the RSI Pledge website. Some packages already include this access. Not all ships that are available in the hangar module are yet flyable in Arena Commander. These may come with time, but you can expect to see the single-seater ships come out first, followed by the multi-crew ships. The ship's statistics page can and will change, so back based on the role of the ship you want, not its statistics, otherwise you will be disappointed. All of the ship's weapons and other items can be earned in-game by playing Star Citizen after it releases. Alright, and now I'm going to get on my high horse just a little bit and remind you that backing does not entitle you to anything other than your pledge package. You are not an investor, you are a backer. There is actually a difference. Chris Roberts and CIG owe you nothing but to honor the pledge package you have pledged for. Just remember that, okay? Now, having said that, there is a wonderful community at the RSI website, and development is as transparent as it could possibly be in this industry. The CIG team does listen to the backers, and they do take their input into consideration. No one is forcing you to pledge. If you believe in Star Citizen and want to contribute to the development of this fantastic game, you can't go wrong by pledging, and you'll get a great game in a few years' time. If you don't like the game or its business model, that's fine. You know, you're entitled to your opinion, whatever you like. You have every right to it. But just keep in mind, I don't want to hear it. I believe in this game. So if you're here to troll, please just don't. There's better ways to waste your time. Alright, well I hope this guide has been useful so far, and that's it for this episode. Next episode, we are going to take a look at the pledge options for the Exploration playstyle. Before we go, I would like to thank Chris Roberts and the amazing team at Cloud Imperium Games, its partners and subsidiaries, for bringing us this no compromises space sim. I'll see you guys next time in the verse.